at Under a Texas Sky, and today I am going to show you how to make a wreath using a picture frame. Now, I did another video that shows the technique that I used to paint this frame. I just bought an 11 by 14 frame from the craft store. It was just a raw wood frame that I painted one coat of this Martha Stewart chalk paint in Tilled Soil is the name of the paint, and then I went over it with this other, what's it called, wedding cake Martha Stewart chalk paint. And I did the dry brush technique, and I've got a video I will link to that will show you exactly how to do that dry brush technique. Super easy, but you can see I've got a frame now that looks kind of weathered and worn, and this is the frame I'm going to use to make my wreath. Now I'm going to show you, here's a wreath that I made last night. As you can see, it's the same kind of frame, and I just hot glued in some elements that I thought would go with the look of the frame. These are little denim flowers, but it's the same type of frame. I painted it exactly the same way, and like I said, I'm going to give you the directions in another video on how to accomplish that. It's a super short video because it's a pretty easy process and it doesn't take a long time to do it. But back to our frame, I wanted to show you that because this one's going to be a little bit different. Instead of a big flower in the corner, I'm going to use a bow. We're going to incorporate some other kinds of things. I did want to start off by encouraging everyone to be sure and check out the blog underatexassky.com. There are tons of projects that are going on our blog site. I am blogging almost every day, and there are new projects almost every single day, and there are things that, even though you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I love and I'm so appreciative that you do that, but if you subscribe to underatexassky.com, you'll get a weekly newsletter that's just going to highlight a few of the items that we did that week in case you forget to check in with the blog on a daily or weekly basis. That'll remind you to go over there and check it out. We've got everything from home decor. We did a refurbished project on an old fountain. Lots of tips and things like that that you could probably incorporate into your home if you'd like. So just be sure and check it out. I would really appreciate that, and I think that you would really enjoy it also. So let's get to what we're doing here. Now I'm going to make a super rustic wreath here. It's going to maybe look a little bit manly actually. I've had some things that have been in my stash of elements and embellishments that I've had for a while that I haven't used, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to just break those things out here today. First of all, the things that you always need in your craft room. You need a surface to work from, one that's protected. If you're working on your kitchen table, especially your countertops, get a mat. You can get a small mat. This one's not very big. It's a small mat on top of a big mat. Just use a small mat, protect your surface. Your wire cutters. In this instance, I've got zip ties, lots and lots of zip ties. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to be attaching all these elements because there's some pretty big bulky elements, but I'm sure the zip ties are going to come into play. I've got a glue pot. I've just started using this instead of a glue gun. This glue seems to be much stronger. It holds on to your things. It glues them down much more strong. So if they're in the elements and in the heat, they're not going to let go. Now you'll see that I've got this sitting on a ceramic tile. This little pot that I ordered off of Amazon gets blazing hot, and underneath it gets blazing hot. It will burn or melt anything that you set it on if you don't set it on a heat resistant surface, and that's why it sits on a ceramic tile. This just happened to be one that we had left over from our floors downstairs. So let's get started. The first thing, I think any wreath, just like any wreath, you just start your layers. We'll start with the layers that we want to be on the bottom first, and you're just going to build up. I've got some eucalyptus here, and I kind of set things out so I can see what I've got going first. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to concentrate on this corner up here. That's going to be the corner. where all of my elements kind of spring from. And here I just kind of lay things out so I can see. And this, I didn't go over my list of what I'm putting on here because I don't really know. I just have greenery that I've had around for a while. I've got some eucalyptus. I've got some little cotton balls that I might use. I had this greenery that I really love, but it looked a little Christmassy to me, so I'm probably not going to use that. But I kind of get an idea of how I want it to go. And then I also have these awesome antlers that I'm going to incorporate. I've had these for some time, and I'm likely going to zip tie these in as well as glue them in. I've got a couple of those, and I kind of mimic what goes on the top with what goes down the side. Of course, down the side it's going to be longer. I want it to be natural. Glue down your elements, you know, at the top and maybe in the center, but have your end pieces seem loose and natural. I think that is the best way for those to look. And so we're going to just go ahead and start. I really think that this eucalyptus is going to be the best here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip it in the glue here, and I'm just going to press it down where I think it should go. And I've got a bow that I've made here. I made this bow ahead of time. I'll go ahead and I'll put a link on here that will link you to the Bowdabra video tutorial that I did. This is a very simple, it's just a little 4 loop bow, but that's going to go on, so you'll get an idea. That's going to go in this corner, so it's going to cover up a world of sins that are happening with your glue. Let's go ahead and I'm going to mimic that same thing on this other side. And this glue is extraordinarily hot. You just have to be really careful around that pot. You really, really do need to be careful. And that's looking good. Take my next element, and this is just a little branch of, I don't know, just these little kind of orangey flowers, and I want to see how I'll layer those in. Just go in the glue, and I work those in. And I will put some more dabs of glue in here as I go, just once I see how everything's going to come together. And you're going to just keep building. You're going to keep layering, layer on top of layer. And then stop, take a look at it, see what you've got going. I mean, you can see here so far. I mean, you can see now where we're going with this. I mean, if I put a big flower here, that would be perfect. It doesn't take a lot of stuff to make these look really, really great. You want it to look natural, you know, because it's kind of an outdoorsy type thing. I've got these cotton balls, which these are super popular these days. I'm thinking that I might throw those in. Looks kind of cool. I'm going to put that in. And then again, I'm going to mimic what's coming down the other side. And I want one maybe that's got, oh, that one's got a couple. And if you need to tuck it in, you know, whatever you need to do. I think that looks super cute. And most of these have a wire that runs through them, so you can bend it to force the direction that you want it to go. Even after you get it glued on. Of course, not the glued element, but anything on around it, you can certainly make it go in the directions that you want for it to go. And then with these wreaths, I mean, it's just endless, the things that you can do. Once you get it on the wall, you can decide to maybe put a monogram. What's wrong? My cameraman's having some issues, I'm not sure. Okay. Do we need to start over again?
Keep going.
Okay. The color may have changed, and if it did, I'm welcome to better color from the camera. I'm getting 2 thumbs up from the mean man.
One switch.
He fixed it with one switch. This is what happens when you got a couple of amateurs that just want to share things with you. I hope it's okay. But now you can look and see here. It's looking really good here. I'm loving what we've got going on here. Already, I mean, look how cute that is. And if you had a big element here, even you could put a big monogram right here or a big flower. You know, I've got other things over here that I'm not going to use, but you can see where we're going with this. And then the dicey part is going to be these antlers. I think the antlers are cool. I have antlers in my house. I have an antler lamp. I have an antler chandelier. I love the rustic look of antlers, but I do need to know where my bow's going to go, so I know where to start my antlers. And so I'm going to kind of play with this so I can see. Okay, I put my bow, because I don't really want to see where the antlers are connected, and I'm going to have to connect them with something in addition. You know, instead of just hot gluing, what I'm thinking about doing is using a zip tie. Zip ties are essential when you're doing these wreaths. You just need them. They come in handy for so many things. For this particular thing, I'm going to use this white one. It's pretty sturdy. It's strong. And I'm going to just go to this thick end of this antler. And I'm going to zip tie it on there. And I'm going to make it really, really tight. So you can see there, I mean, that thing's on there pretty well. Probably make it a little bit tighter. But there you go. You can see how that antler is, and then the bow. You know, kind of look here again to see how the bow is going to go on there. Make sure it's going to cover that up, which it's going to. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on. You don't have to sit here and watch me put every element on. You understand what we're doing. We're layering on, layer at a time, and then I'm zip tying these on. I'm going to go ahead and continue to do that, and when I come back, I'll have it all pretty much squared away, and we can talk about everything that we did. But just give me a few minutes to get that done. I'll be right back. Okay, I've been busy working, layering a bunch of stuff in here onto the wreath. Let me put this one last thing in. Of course, I say it's the last thing. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I get kind of complete, then I take a picture of something, I look at it, and the finished product is never the first picture that you see. But here is essentially what we've come up with. I've got these antlers that I have on here, and the way I attach those antlers, I'm going to turn this around. You can see here are the zip ties that I used to attach the 2 antlers, and I just tied my bow on with the wire, the bow wire that comes with the Bodabra. Again, I'll show you how to make a Bodabra I'll link you to the video that shows how to do the bow on the Bodabra tutorial. I just chevroned the ends of this bow. I added this cotton, and all of this is just glued in. I glued in all of these elements, and I mean, they are in there really, really strong. This glue, I just can't say enough about it. Like I said too, I may add some more stuff, I'm just not sure, but this is super simple. Just a regular wooden frame, and then just layer in your elements. You know, just think about how they're going to look, where you can stack things on top of each other to where you're going to get sort of this look. I got my little cotton balls in there, some eucalyptus, cattail. I wanted to put a cattail down here, but I started to get a little full here, and there was no way I could figure out how I was going to tuck it in to be able to get it in there. So whether you do a wreath like this or one like this, the principle is entirely the same. You just start layering your things in. Use your imagination. I thought, I've got a deer. I thought I could stick a deer in this, or a deer's head, because it is so rustic. There's lots of things you could do. It's just endless, the types of things that you can do with this. I'm hanging this on a wall. It is a little bit difficult to hang on your front door depending on the type of hanger that you have. It's just not necessarily a frame. It's just not necessarily built to hang on a front door. But you definitely can make it work if you place your elements right and your hook can go around it without being seen. I hope that you try this at home. It's a lot of fun. Paint your frame. Practice on a frame. You know, go to a garage sale and buy a $1 frame, a 50-cent frame, and then practice painting it until you get your technique down, and then you can just create so many wonderful things using paint these days. It's just fantastic, and hopefully you can graduate up to some furniture, as I fully intend to do myself. Thank you again for joining me, and I encourage you again to go to the blog site under texassky.com. Leave comments. If you see anything on here and you've got a question about it, leave the comment. I always try to get back. I usually respond within an hour or two of any comments or questions that are left for me. I love hearing from you. I encourage y'all to give this a try. Don't be afraid of this. And if yours doesn't turn out the same way you think mine looks, don't worry about it. As long as you've done the best that you can, that's all that you can expect to do. And every time you do something, you're going to get better and better and better. So just keep trying. I hope that you have a blessed day, and I appreciate you just checking out this video, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.